Considering that I ranked every Rayman Origins level in the previous video, it would only be fitting if I also ranked every Rayman Legends level. Now I won't be doing the Back to Origin levels, obviously. I will be doing the Invasion levels first, but considering they're just shorter remakes of the original levels where you have to save the teensies in a limited amount of time, I will just speedrun through them. Keep in mind that I generally don't really like the Invasion levels in the game. Lucha Libre Getaway, The Winds of Strange, Rope's Course, Ray and the Beanstalk, The Mysterious Inflatable Island, There's Always a Bigger Fish, The Deadly Lights, Hell Breaks Loose, The Dark Creatures Rise, 600 Feet Under, The Amazing Maze, Castle in the Clouds, What the Duck, Sword Rotten, The Great Lava Pursuit, Shields Up and Down, When Toads Fly, Altitude Quickness, Creepy Castle, Enchanted Forest, How to Shoot Your Dragon, Quicksand, Rope's Course, Swarmed and Dangerous, Infiltration Station, Elevator Ambush, I've Got a Feeling, Mansion of the Deep. So now that that is done, let's move on to the proper levels in Rayman Legends. Now I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about the Duck levels in this game, but in my opinion they work okay. The whole point of them is for it to feel like a curse, so yeah, it does what it needs to. This level just doesn't make it any further down the list because this is one of those levels where Murphy is present. Murphy is an annoying mechanic, and was so when he has to eat away the cake. It's a mechanic I never really got along with. Now, these levels kind of remind me of the slow levels from the desert in Rayman Origins, which, for those who know me well, unlike those levels. I guess the wind mechanics work a little better on Rayman Legends, but as you know, I still can't recommend the Winds of Strange any higher. 6,000 feet under completely removes the fun aspect of the free falling levels. You'll have to glide most of the time while navigating down, and if you try to crash down, you'll be screwed over mainly for the fact that you'll miss a lot of lumps or land on a spike that will just kill you. Now, there are these levels in Rayman Legends where you have to run quickly through falling, I guess, buildings and other parts. Now, these levels work kinda well. I guess it's just really frustrating when you miss a couple things behind, because that will mean you have to restart everything. I mean, it's fun, I guess. This level feels so awkward to play. You go from the Lost World with all the dragons and all types of combat to something much more peaceful. That isn't the only problem, however. This level contains the wind mechanics again, so yeah. Castle in the Clouds is a little similar to Ray and the Beanstalk, so as you can imagine, there isn't much else to say about it. I guess there are some combat aspects that make it feel a little bit better, but other than that, I don't really know. Let me go ahead and say that 20,000 Lumps Under the Sea is my favourite world in Rayman Legends. Now you may be wondering why this level is so far up the list. The person at fault is Murphy. Like I said, he is a really clunky mechanic at the game. He feels even worse in this level. He will usually go to the wrong button or remove the enemy detector way too late. Honestly, I don't know why he even exists in this game. Now, the Armored Toad is the most disappointing boss fight that there is in this game. The boss doesn't really do a whole lot except shoot missiles and run around when the armor has been taken off. Since the first day that I bought this game, I never really felt anything after beating this boss. As far as music levels go, I find Glue Glue more irritating than anything else. I would even go as far to say that it just feels really repeated. It's just the same thing over and over again, so it doesn't really feel all that special. This is one of the levels where you have to rescue the nymphs, which are playable characters this time around. Having to dash through various obstacles with Murphy just doesn't feel good at all. I played throughout this game with the keyboard and mouse, and even though I remapped the buttons to my own liking, it still doesn't work great. This is again another level where you have to rescue the nymph. Just like the last one in the list, it quite literally has the Murphy mechanics, so there isn't much to say about this. Now this level is actually quite cool. I'll have to mention that the wind mechanics once again make it feel incredibly slow, but the air combat kind of makes it better. I remember those good old days where toads didn't fly at all. There really isn't much to complain about in the Enchanted Forest, however, it feels really short when compared to the other main levels in the game. Maybe if it was a little longer, it would be ranked higher. Now don't get me wrong, the dojo levels work really good. They can flow really well, especially if you get the right moves in. My only question about it is, why did Ubisoft decide to make so many of these? I'm telling you, it had quite a few dojo levels back when the online mode was still up. Now this is another dojo level, but this one is ranked higher as there is a bit more of an added challenge to it. To get past sections of the dojo, you'll have to defeat enemies as well. I don't want to count how many times I've hit the spike and died while trying to perform the wall run jump. I guess we can call it that. Honestly, kinda took the fun away from the wall run in this one. Is there really any added explanation that I need to give at this point? It's another level where Murphy is involved, so what else does there need to be said? How many Murphy levels did Ubisoft think? Maybe it's too much. Altitude Quickness is quite a cool level, especially the chase sequence. Yes, it is once again one of those levels that is slower and uses wind, but I generally think that being in a sheer panic and having to fly quickly whilst navigating various objects works really well. Just like Up Up and Get Away, but as usual, the challenge is ramped up a little more. This level flows really well. I really love the addition of the music levels and I have to jump with the rhythm. But I also have to place them on the rankings list. While Orchestral Chaos isn't my favourite music level, it's still got a really good flow to it. A pursuit with lots of pits filled with lava and Murphy having to move the platform in order for you to jump and be able to make it successfully? Alright, I'll give you this level, Ubisoft. Now, for the final boss in the main story, A Cloud of Darkness kind of sucks. It consists of the player having to destroy the boss piece by piece, but unfortunately, this doesn't make it too great of a level. The more you destroy, the easier it becomes to dodge the boss, not to mention the fact that if you have it all memorized, it'll be even easier for you. I have mixed feelings about Hell Breaks Loose. The challenge for this level is really ramped up, which is a good thing as it's nearing the end of the main story. I generally have always found this level really hard. Even so, if I tried to 100% it. Having Murphy cut the ropes at the right time for you to fall safely actually works pretty well this time round. Just like the name of the level indicates, it quite literally consists of Rayman having to swing along the jungle, which is actually really satisfying. Pretty good level indeed. Snakes on a cake is a phrase I guess I never thought I would say in my life. This level works pretty great having to be absolutely cautious of the snakes that are slowly eating away the cakes and having to dodge them accordingly, whether it's swinging away or jumping over them. How to shoot your dragon is a really satisfying level by all means. Using the range attack to take out dragons looks graphically amazing, so yeah, what else is there more to be said? Castle Rock is the first musical level that you will encounter. It is used most to show the player how the music levels are going to work, so you can imagine that the first one is quite easy compared to the others. Also, those enemies sing really well. The 8-bit versions of these levels are harder versions of the original music levels, usually by adding effects around the screen, making it harder to see anything. Castle Rock is the first level to be modified as such, so not a whole lot of challenges added to it. The Dark Creatures Rise is the first level to introduce the dark creatures that will chase you upon seeing you. They are completely invincible unless you throw, I guess, a firework at it, which in my opinion works really well. The first time around I said that I didn't really like Glugu as it just felt repetitive. Well, here it's the exact same level but with an added challenge. It's still annoying, but hey, at least it's a lot more difficult this time. Swarmed and Dangerous is a level where a lot of puzzles to do with the dark creatures are involved. Defeating them usually means that you may unlock a new area where a queen or king teensy may be hiding away. Orchestral Chaos in 8-bit mode is such a challenge. Every time the player jumps, the screen will have more and more static. I remember struggling so much in the final part of this level, having to go to the normal one to remember how to do it. Great times. The Land of the Living Dead technically also exists in Rayman Legends, and this is it. Most of it is just running levels where you have to run as fast as you can and dodge as many obstacles as possible, as is seen here. Sprint for your life is just like run for your life in the Land of the Living Dead, and that is all that needs to be said. This boss fight is actually quite funny and goofy, which makes it more memorable. The soundtrack and the skeleton announcing the rounds is just the cherry on top, honestly. It's a great boss fight and definitely an improvement from the previous boss fight. Now, I know I'm gonna get comments saying, why is Lucha Libre Getaway higher than Wrestling with the Giant? Well, that's quite easy. It includes a Terminator reference right at the end of the level. For some reason, some people used to think that was a middle finger. This level will have you switch constantly from small Rayman to big Rayman and vice versa. This works pretty well this time, as you can use it to go through all kinds of fruits and foods that are spread around the map. The music and boss fight is one of the most memorable things about Rayman Legends. Who doesn't think about the big dragon whenever the name of this game is mentioned? 600 feet under is where you can successfully freefall, and where you get to fall all the way down in a much more satisfying manner than in 6,000 feet under. I think it definitely deserves to be up here, at least in my opinion. Creepy Castle definitely lives up to its name. It's one of those first levels in the game that will really show you what the game is all about. It also gives off a very spooky atmosphere, so yes, it really wouldn't be fair if I didn't put this level this high up. As I had said before, 20,000 Lumps Under the Sea is by far my favourite world. The Deadly Lights is a really good level, as it will have you dodging, I guess we could call it motion sensors. I don't know, you will have to use strategy in order to be able to avoid them. Right, I understand I have put a Murphy level this high up after absolutely crapping on them at the beginning. The thing that saves this one is, well, the fact that for some reason I absolutely love dodging the ghosts. So yeah, I'll place it here. But still, screw you, Murphy. What an amazing level to start off a world. It gives you the feeling that you have returned to the Sea of Serendipity from Rayman Origins. This time, however, it is completely different, especially when you dive underwater. I absolutely love the Dragon Slayer song, so I have nothing to complain about here at least. I will, however, complain about the final part, especially when it is completely pixelated. I feel that I would jump at the right time to avoid the fire-breathing dragons, but apparently I did not. Shields Up and Down is a great introduction to the Olympus Maximus world. It has you navigate through multiple obstacles with fire, and then towards the end of the level, you have to stay under a shield to avoid the hand of Zeus firing lightning at you. This is what made this level so good. This level definitely deserves to be in the top 10. I mean, who wouldn't love a parody of the famous Eye of the Tiger song? Well, we've taken a look at Dragon Slayer, so here is a level in normal. Honestly, absolutely amazing beat. I don't know why, but Mariachi Madness sounds even better in 8-bit. Just a little 8-bit tune going on. Absolutely perfect level and deserves to be in top 10. Here's another example where the Land of the Living Dead is used. It's used as a music level, which actually works amazingly well. I guess they couldn't just copy and paste the same world from before, so yeah, props to them for sure. Now, Granny's World Tour on 8-bit is an absolute challenge. It combines all the challenges from the previous levels into one. It's an amazing challenge. I can't be the only one to say that the music in the Amazing Maze isn't amazing. No pun intended. The stealth aspect of it just makes it perfect. For some reason, on Rayman Legends, combat on an elevator is really satisfying. It's great to see a boss from Rayman Origins make such a big appearance in Rayman Legends. It's good to see you again, Murray of the Deep. When someone says to me the name Rayman Legends, this is immediately the level I crack to. It has the best music and best boss fight. I never knew that Rayman, out of all games, could have stealth missions. They really pulled this off perfectly in Mansion of the Deep, which is why to me it's the perfect level. Please, please, Ubisoft, make more Rayman games.